For spiritual living. Now's the time for our meditation period. I'll have a short reading for us and then a period of silence, and then I'll bring us back out. The whole thing take about 15 minutes. And we are just glad you're here. So the reading this morning is from The Anatomy of Healing Prayer by Ernest Holmes. We happen to believe in a spiritual universe. Jesus said, "Behold, the kingdom of God is at hand." Probably most of them looked around and said, "Hey, we don't see anything." But he saw something and heard something and felt something that every practitioner in our field must see. The pure in heart shall see God. Now, this should be interpreted literally, because where there is no longer any adulteration of spirit and not spirit, of God and not God, of being and not being, there will be nothing left but what is, which is being. And we believe in this being. There is a divine pattern of every cosmic manifestation, and an individual pattern of our own, which I believe is the result of the sum total of the whole belief of the human race. Our directly inherited tendencies and what we have contributed to it, rightly or wrongly, wisely or unwisely. But it is necessary that we realize that we are living in a spiritual universe now, a universe which is a perfect God, that there is a perfect God, perfect man, and perfect being right now, and that we are experiencing it right now, and that everything that contradicts itself to be contradicted, not necessarily vehemently, violently, or nor by resistance, but it is to be contradicted because it is not true. You see, if there is such a thing as a science of mind, there is a technique, a mental technique applied to the recognition of something that exists before we recognize it, or there would be no principle to demonstrate. To thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not be false to anyone. So let's take all that inside and surrender up any preconceived notions of what has been or what will be, and just allow ourselves to be right here, right now. Simply be present with what is. As we enter into the still and quiet moments, just simply be for a bit. And with the breath, we bring our awareness back here to the space, back to where we're seated, wiggling our fingers and toes. And then just having a sense of gratitude for the time that we've had to share here this morning. Trusting we can carry this atmosphere, this presence with us throughout the rest of the day. I'm grateful for all of you being here. When you're ready, just open your eyes. We hope you'll hang around and join us at the top of the hour for our gathering, our service, our celebration of life. Glad you're all here. Share it out with your friends. See y'all soon. On, everybody. God together, heart and soul as we love together. Young and old, we will sing together, together in one song. Come together, from different worlds we are drawn together. In our own way we can pray together. Together we are strong. I see God in you. You see God in me. One path, one vision, one family. Come together, dreams and hands we will join together to build a place we can grow together. Together we are whole. All right, well done, well done. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Good morning, yes. I'm Reverend Lee Height, and I'm glad each and every one of you is here in the space with us here this morning, and everybody out there online watching. Welcome. Welcome to Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. We are indeed glad you're here, and welcome to anyone, especially who is here for the very first time. We're glad you're here and that you've chosen to join us this morning. If you'd like to stay up to date, we do have a mailing list. We have a pen and paper in the lobby, or there is a way to sign up online. Point your phone, your camera at the little QR code, and it will take you right to the spot where you can sign up. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on our website. And we are streaming live on Facebook this morning, Facebook Live, and on YouTube. So welcome to all of you on YouTube and Facebook Live who are watching this morning. And did you know, if you're real active on Facebook, if you have some Facebook skills, you can check in at Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living on Facebook and say, hey, I'm here, we're having fun, come join us, or check us out another time. This past Friday was the 113th anniversary of International Women's Day, a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating women's equality. The Science of Mind Archives has produced a brief video of some of our women of new thought. So we'll take a minute and enjoy that video from the archives this morning. Joining now in sisterhood, we lift our voice in song and sing. It's the power of women. United we stand. We're making a difference when we join hands. It's the power of women. We'll heal this world. The power of women. Yeah, power of women. Power. It's just the power of women. Power. right. Well, bravo. And just as an aside, I learned this morning, did you know that a woman invented the windshield wiper for your car? I did not know that. I learned that this morning, so bravo. You learn something new. All right. We have such a great spiritual community at Scottsdale CSL, and we're growing and happy to meet new friends each week and look forward to growing in spirit with each and every one of you. We have a mission, vision, and purpose for being, and if you would join me now in speaking that into the service. Our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and community transformation. Our vision is a world that works for everyone. Our purpose is to awaken to our spiritual magnificence, and so it is. So one of the things that we actively do here at the center is we teach classes such as the foundation class, Roots of Science of Mind, and various others. And we have had some graduates recently, and we finally got the certificates back. So we'd like to hand those out this morning and recognize the people that completed some of the classwork. So I will do my students first, and then Reverend Joe will come up and take care of hers. So, is that way or that way? I'm not sure. It's coming. Yeah. Anyway, so these are for the foundations class from last fall. Valerie Barnhart. Come on up and get. There you go. Okay, you bet. Okay. Stephen Lozinski. Stephen. All right, you bet. Oh, there you go.
Not yet.
Michael is not here. Michael Massey is not here. Eileen Bench. There you go. It's such a fun class. And Katie Fitch. Yay. There you go. All right. Reverend Joe.
Okay. Well, last fall, I had the privilege of teaching Changing Your Thinking, Change Your Life class and had some wonderful students. Cheryl Stone, who's probably joining us online this morning, joined us online from Minneapolis. Yeah, Minneapolis for the class. Cheryl, I'll send you your certificate. Yay, Cheryl. Our brand new Secretary of the Board, Kimberly Hauser. I'll hold your certificate, Ms. Kim. Yay. Stephanie Blaine. Lauren Hayden. All right. And Beverly Youngstrom. Where'd you go, Beth? Oh, you're back here. No, come on up. Sorry, I'm going to make you walk up here. Thank you. Congratulations to everyone. And just as a reminder, Reverend Lee's got another class coming up in April. So if you want to get one of these, you can sign up for that.
Yes, another class coming in April. Yes. Art and Science of Spiritual Mind Treatment. So it'll be a deep dive into spiritual mind treatment. We will be having some fun with that for sure. Okay, let's see. Oh, all right, candle lighting. Let's shift gears here this morning. All right. Join with me. Settle in. Just settle in just how good it is to be here together this morning, where we recognize that there is indeed one power and presence, one infinite life and love and joy, a peace and presence in which we live and move and have our being, and it in us, through us, as each and every one of us. And we join here together in this awareness. Whether we're right here or out in the online community, there is no space, no time, no separation in this consciousness, for we are all connected. And we join together consciously in this moment, recognizing that there is indeed only one. And so we declare, accept, and celebrate this blessing of love and joy and truth, not just for those of us here in this moment, but for whoever is engaged in their spiritual journey. Consciously or otherwise, we know that there are so many paths, so many ways to find our way home, and we are each walking each other home together. We do so in love and in joy, in peace and enthusiasm, a sure and certain enthusiasm for life. Knowing that each of us is blessed, that we are grateful in this moment for those who participate in the production of this gathering, the production of this service. We know that Reverend Jill's message is one that is filled with inspiration, with love and joy and compassion, that she is truly inspired, and that there is something for each and every one of us in this message this morning. That we learn and joy, that we celebrate life together. Forgiveness, love, acceptance, surrender, all of these things are truly part of our being. And so in gratitude, we go forth into the rest of this time together, knowing that all is well, that life is good and very good as each and every one of us. And so we let it be, and so it is.
You are blessed. You are a blessing. 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 You are a blessing. You are a blessing.
Good morning, Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. Glad to see all of you guys. Congratulations on all the class study graduates. I took some a few years back here. I'm ready to do some more. So they were great. They're a great bonding experience for people too. We're going to talk about gratitude as we usually do. True forgiveness is when you can say, thank you for that experience. Oprah Winfrey. Any of you have anything you want to be thankful for? Is there a small microphone? You've got it. Okay. Small or large or anything. Share your gratitude. Everybody, Reverend Jill, anyone? Oh, there you go. Stephen, good.
A couple of things. Personally, I don't know about you, but all those projects around the house you try to get. Okay, you can talk this one. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know about you guys, but when you've got projects around the house you keep putting off, and then all of a sudden you got guests that are coming to stay with you, and all of a sudden it becomes a priority. And Ron helped me take care of a couple of those things over the weekend, and I'm very grateful for that. Everything turned out great. The other thing is, as a care coordinator, I was able to help some friends get into a new facility. She's got some cognitive issues. Found her a new place that she loves the location. She loves the people, loves the care. It's closer to all of her friends, and save her about $6,000 a month.
Wow.
So God bless you.
Thank you, Stephen. Anyone else? Gratitude? I have a big one. My friend of mine is on one of the new immunosuppressant drugs that they're treating cancers with. And This, along with CRISPR technology, is going to be the future of cancer. And they told her about 2 years ago, 2 years and 4 months, that this cancer was terminal and she had to have a massive surgery and be on a feeding tube. And well, they put her on this drug about 4 months later, and she has no side effects at all. It's just the only one is a little fatigue. The drug doesn't last forever. They're working on making them last longer. And she gets the drug at a cancer a chemo center, but it's not chemo. So anyway, I find another friend's daughter is on this drug and she lives in France and she's been on it for 3 years. So they're making great strides. I'm so grateful for that because she was able to come visit me a weekend before last. She's traveling. She's the one I went traveling with a bit. So it's just all so good. So good. And then I have a little bitty small one before I start this. I'm just so grateful my hairdresser is coming back to Arizona. I need a cut and color. She's been gone a long time, guys. So gratitude encompasses all that, big and small. March 31st is Easter Sunday, and it is also the 9th anniversary of our Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living first service. So we're going to be celebrating that with a potluck brunch here in the courtyard after the service. So sign up today and let us know if you can bring a dish so we can all share. And all are welcome, and Valerie will be doing the details. So if you have any questions, March 31st after service. And then mark your calendar for April 3rd. That's our quarterly vision that we do every quarter with Jill. And you'll need to sign up the day before so Reverend Jill knows how many people are coming. Sign up by 5 o'clock on Tuesday the 2nd to receive the login credentials, and you're all welcome to practice and participate in this practice. Visioning is a wonderful thing that I learned about maybe 10 or 12 years ago, and it's pretty astounding the things that come to you that you're wanting something, but you're not quite sure how that's going to work out. And visioning helps you focus on allowing some of that. We're looking also for more hosts for our Gourmet for God fundraisers. We call it Gourmet for God, but you don't have to be a gourmet. You don't even have to make it food focused. Just a fun and a connecting event for friends and our congregants here to get together to buy tickets and have a wonderful social experience. And all proceeds benefit our spiritual community. So get creative and start planning your events. Our next fundraising event is coming right up, a taste of Italy and wine tasting. Join hosts Valerie and Beverly right here in our courtyard for a fun-filled evening with delectables of yummy Italian small plates and the perfect wines to match. Our special guest will be Michael Zaglul, a wine enthusiast for over 25 years who will host the event and share his knowledge with a variety of wines. April 13th, 5:30 to 8:30. Starting bids $25. Sign up in the lobby to save your place. Wow, that sounds like fun. And the weather will probably be really nice by then. So. Our spiritual education class is continuing. As Reverend Lee said, we're starting the Art and Science of Spiritual Mind Treatment begins April 11th. This 8-week class is on the path to practitioner studies and explores the principles and the practices of science of mind with an emphasis on the daily use of affirmative prayer. Spiritual mind treatment. If you would like to learn more about applying affirmative prayer to heal, to overcome challenges, and to change the conditions in your life and for others, join Reverend Lee for this empowering class. This class is $200 plus the $40 to the Center for Spiritual Living for a registration fee. Payment plans are available. After Reverend Jill's talk this morning, again, she'll open the microphone for all those little thoughts that might come through your head as you're listening and things that you have questions about. And we even have some pens and scratch pads in the front table if you want to jot them down so you can ask her right after hearing that. We love music at Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living, and today we're continuing the soundtrack videos from the 2000 movie Jesus Christ Superstar, sung by the new cast of that show. Reverend Jill's message will look at the metaphysical principles that are associated with this clip as it relates to the spiritual practice of forgiveness. Today's song is Gethsemane, sung by Glenn Carter as we watch Jesus in that garden.
Agony of surrender. It's very challenging for most of us, isn't it? We saw a very human side of the man Jesus. Surrendering to what is. We might see it coming. Makes it even more challenging, doesn't it? Like Jesus. Perhaps it's a relationship that's ending, and we know we have to walk through all of that to get through it. We're dreading it. We don't want to. We want it to be different. We want it to be over. But we must go through. Perhaps it's a diagnosis. We don't want to deal with it, but we must go through. Perhaps some of my athletes, you're in a race, in a run. You're tired. You want to quit. Jesus wanted to quit. He didn't want to finish. Perhaps it's work, and it's a project you've been working on for a long time. And, your folks aren't really cooperating anymore. It's challenging. It's difficult. You want to quit. Want to be done. Want it over. All of these things that we go through on a regular basis. A very human experience, yes? And yet something won't let us stop. We keep going. We know intellectually that we can't not finish. We know we must accept what is. We must surrender. We must simply surrender to what is in front of us and take the next step. Our series this month is all about forgiveness. And we're using this series of Jesus Christ Superstar for our musical inspiration for the stories of the last few days of Jesus' life. And my talk today is Sacred Agony. Take this cup away. As we look at Jesus' prayers in the Garden of Gethsemane. The Garden of Gethsemane was a very special place to him and his disciples where they frequently went to pray and to have meetings and so forth. And so this is where he went. And Ernest Holmes is the founder of Centers for Spiritual Living. He's also the author of The Science of Mind that we teach from. And he said, we have no record of Jesus ever asking God to do anything except where he said in the garden, Father, take away this cup from me, but thy will be done, not mine. Holmes goes on to say, when Jesus healed people and told them to get up and walk, he didn't pray for them to be able to get up and walk. He exercised an authority that was a result of his communion with the Spirit. He commanded, right? Lazarus, get up. Blind man, see. Lame, walk. He commanded. He didn't pray that maybe if God found it in good favor, that maybe that would happen. He commanded. So why have a beseeching prayer? Was that beseeching? Why have that level of angst and anger and beseeching in this prayer? Why go there at that point? Why not just command Judas to step away? Why not just have the guards get lost? Why not have a big old fog come in real heavy and Jesus just disappear? I mean, Moses had 10 plagues on Egypt and the pharaohs. Look how that changed history. We don't know. Other than we know that this is part of the story of the last days of Jesus. It's also part of our story. It's also part of our human experience of what we go through when we are dealing with that divine duality of our humanness and our spirit. And that was what we witnessed there, wasn't it? That power, that angst, the process that he went through. That was his very human person dealing with this sacred calling that he had. As metaphysicians, we are taught to pray like Jesus prayed. exercising the power of our word to direct the spiritual laws of our life. But how many times do we instead take this beseeching attitude of praying to something outside of ourselves? To handle it, to do something, to fix it, to make it go away. Or perhaps we're demanding that it be done a certain way, our way, my way. Not the best way, not God's way. The more I worked with this story this week, the more humanness I found in it, my own story, and how I've had experiences and situations in my own life where I want it over. I want it done. I want it to magically disappear. Oh, wise and wonderful Oz, make it go away. Right? Don't we all wish we had little ruby red slippers we could click once in a while to make things just disappear that we don't want to accept, surrender to? I felt like Jesus when he said, then I was inspired, now I'm sad and tired. You ever felt that way? All fired up and inspired and ready to go on a project or something or some life event, and then you get in and I'm tired and I'm very sad by it. And I don't want to finish. I don't want to finish. I've certainly felt that way. Again, in this human scene, in this garden scene, we see the very human Jesus. We see it powerfully portrayed in that song. It was long, and I was going to cut it at 3 when he first surrendered in the floor, but I thought that last part was so powerful with the expression of the angst that he felt. So powerful to the message. We can tell he knows what's coming, and that makes it even more difficult. The betrayal, the arrest, the persecution, the death. When we resist a situation, it grows stronger, doesn't it? Because our resistant energy is feeding it and making it stronger. Ernest tells us that we charge every condition positively or negatively based on our acceptance or resistance to it. Our beliefs, opinions, judgments energize the condition. That's why gratitude is so powerful. Our energy of being grateful energizes more to be grateful for. Negative resistance makes things more difficult, makes the situation more difficult, bigger, more hard to handle, more powerful. The story, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, say that when he entered the garden, he became sad and depressed. That doesn't sound like our boy, does it? Sad and depressed. And then from there, we see him go into the beseeching prayer of, take this cup away. And he's in resistance. A little anger in there. Until finally he surrenders. Finally he surrenders. It's sort of like the 5 steps of grief that we talk about through grief counseling. Moving through those. He had to move through that process. A very human process. Now, one of the interesting components about these stories in all 3 books is the disciples. Did you notice they were all asleep? Well, if you remember back last week when Reverend Lee was talking about the Passover feast in the upper room where Jesus was with the disciples and they were having their dinner, and he was still teaching them, right? He was still teaching them things. And one of the things that he said to them was, Satan wants to sift all of you like wheat. Satan wants to sift all of you like wheat. And what he was talking about was that negative thinking would separate them as a group. These guys have been together for 3 years, following Jesus all up and around the countryside. He's their leader. And he knew what was coming, and there was going to be no leader. So he knew that they were going to have their things, right? A little infighting and separation and all of those things that happen when a leader leaves and the group is left on their own, and then someone rises as the new leader. So he warned them of that. When he goes deeper in the garden, gets ready in the garden, then goes in deeper, he asked his disciples to watch and pray with him. We talk here sometimes about holding the high watch, and that's just holding in prayer. And so he asked the disciples to do that. And he said, that you may not enter into temptation. So again, bringing that same message from the Passover meal into his prayer work there in the garden, not enter into temptation. So he goes off and prays and leaves them there praying. He comes back and they're all asleep. Every last one of them. He's like, guys, come on. I ask you to watch and pray with me. 1 hour. Come on. Can't you stay awake? He says, I'm going to go pray again. This time, pray that you may not enter into temptation, for the spirit is willing and ready, but the flesh is weak. You ever heard that? That was a Jesus thing. So he goes away again to pray, asking them to please stay awake, watch, and pray with me. I need your support. It's like a practitioner holding high watch for us or holding us in prayer. We need their support. Why did he keep falling asleep? Why does he keep talking about temptation? I mean, he's on the brink of a very painful situation in his own life, really dramatic. And he's talking to them about pray and watch and don't be led into temptation. Temptation is when we face something or someone that causes us to have a desire to do something wrong or unwise. Mine are usually unwise choices. I don't know about you. Not so much wrong, but unwise. Jesus knew that the disciples would be tempted to intervene in the coming events. He knew what was coming. He didn't want them getting violent. He didn't want them pulling swords. He didn't want them attacking. He knew what was his to do. So he wanted them what we might call prayed up and centered so that they were in a good place and not going to make some dumb decisions. So resist temptation. When he returned the third time from his prayer, they were asleep again. Third time, sound asleep. This time, he said, sleep and rest. The hour has come. So we can feel, even in that comment, his surrender. We can feel his surrender in that comment. There's so much to forgive in this Garden of Gethsemane scene, these prayers. I think he probably found some forgiveness for himself, for what he did and didn't do, the choices that he made along the way. If I hadn't turned over those tables in the temple, they might not be after me. They may not be so mad. If I hadn't done quite so many miracles, they might not be so mad. He probably found some forgiveness for himself, some grace. I think he probably forgave Judas in the garden before it ever happened. I think he forgave the Pharisees and the Sadducees for their trickery and all that they did to him. I think he forgave the disciples for sleeping and for the ultimate betrayals that came forth after that. You know what else? I think he forgave God. I think in those prayers, in that surrender in the garden, he found forgiveness for God. This one shows him pretty angry. The reading is not quite this dramatic, but I can still see that human side of him, my human side, getting mad. We've all been mad at God, right? At some point or the other, we've all been mad at God. So I think Jesus found his forgiveness there also. Most of us get mad at God when we can't understand why good things happen to bad people. bad things happen to me, people I love, around the world. I mean, come on, we talk about God being all good. How can he let bad things happen? How can she let bad things happen? How can this infinite power and presence and intelligence let these bad things happen? Why isn't life just a bowl of cherries every day? I mean, come on. Must I struggle? Well, I came across 5 common explanations from philosophy and theology as to why bad things happen. Would you like to hear them? The first is free will. God has granted us the ability to make choices freely, yes? Bad things can happen when we misuse our free will to harm ourselves or others. God respects human autonomy and allows us to exercise our choices even if they lead to negative consequences. We're at the effect of the law of cause and effect. The second is the problem of evil. This is a philosophical dilemma. Some argue that suffering and evil are necessary for spiritual growth and development of virtues such as compassion, empathy, and courage. You may have heard it called Earth School. You've heard that term, right? In this view, adversity provides opportunities for individuals to demonstrate resilience and moral character. Now, in the science of mind, we believe evil is an experience and not an entity, and that it will disappear when we stop choosing destructive methods. Imagine, just use that powerful imagination. Everybody stops competing, stops judging, lets go of anger, has forgiven all, doesn't hold a grudge, doesn't want to take anything from anybody else. It'd be a pretty peaceful moment, wouldn't it? Is it possible? We pray it is. We pray that it is. The third one is mysterious ways. We don't always understand God's purpose. Would you agree? God's ways are often mysterious, and what appears as suffering and injustice in our perspective may serve a higher purpose in the bigger scheme of life. We can't always see, even in our own manifestations, right? We want it now, but a lot of things have to happen that we have no knowledge or control over that need to occur first to allow that to become in alignment with us and come to us. We can't always see the big scheme of life, the big scheme of everything, the big picture. This explanation emphasizes humility and trust in God's wisdom. The fourth is the fall and original sin, the story of Adam and Eve and their disobedience, introducing cause and effect into the world. From this perspective, human suffering is a consequence of humanity's separation from God. And number 5 is redemption and hope. And many religious traditions teach that suffering is not the end of the story. Through faith, perseverance, and acts of love and kindness, individuals can find redemption, meaning, and hope, even in the midst of suffering. It's a belief in the afterlife, a belief in a better life in heaven. I'll get my rewards in heaven. I'm suffering here, but I'll get my rewards in heaven. That's the redemption and hope. Whichever one of these resonates with you, whichever one you believe, or something else, some other belief that you may have, ultimately, the question of why God permits suffering, it's a mystery. We won't know until we get there, right? We really won't know why. These 5 ideas can offer us insights, they can offer us perspectives, but it comes down to what you believe. Many of us have struggled with this idea and will continue to struggle with this idea because I don't know that it's truly answerable. It's what we believe. For me, it comes down to my faith. It comes down to my faith in that which is greater than I am and a whole lot wiser than I am. Because I can't know. But I trust this divine presence, this infinite power and intelligence to know what it's doing. I can't create a rose. I can't manufacture oxygen. I can't change my DNA. Spirit knows. It's my personal surrender to the infinite all God. Once I realized my role in all things that I had blamed God for, why did you let that happen? Why did you let that happen? When I recognized my role in all of that, it was easy to forgive myself, God, and everybody else involved. Ernest Holmes says, necessity demands that we forgive if we would be forgiven. When we forgive, holding no condemnation, judging no one, then our consciousness becomes a mirror reflecting that greater consciousness, which is the mind of God and the will of love. This is a story of sacred agony of Jesus. He didn't like what he knew was coming. We don't always like what we know is coming. He surrendered anyway. He forgave himself, his betrayer, his disciples, and everyone who had or would persecute him. I think in his surrender in the garden, he also forgave God, and he said yes to the divine plan. We see him emerge from the garden, more of his true self. He continued to try and help and encourage the disciples. He entered the garden depressed and sad, and emerged ready to face what was coming, empowered almost. Whenever we're experiencing agony, pain, or suffering, we too can stop and pray and forgive. If you would like to learn more about these principles or get a recap of today's talk, I invite you to sign up for our Mindful Monday newsletter. Reverend Lee and I create those each week and send them out Monday morning as a recap on the talk that you can then use throughout the week to begin to embody these principles in your own life and to use the principles and practices of the science of mind to transform your life as well. Your spiritual practice for this week is once again forgiveness. Go to your own inner garden and pray. Surrender to what is, whether it's something in the past, something you're facing right now, or maybe something you fear in the future. Choose to forgive it all, including yourself and God, if there's any blame in there, and turn fresh towards what's next and what's new for you. Forgiveness frees the field, and it frees our energy to focus then on that new, to energize that new to come forward in powerful ways. This week, surrender to what is and forgive what was. We all have moments of doubt and uncertainty. Yet in the gardens of our souls, we can find the courage to surrender to that divine, trusting that God's love and purpose transcends our understanding, that which is greater than we are. And like Jesus' example, we can find courage to surrender our fears and our doubts, to just let them go. Let them go and trust in the transformative power of divine love. So this week, remember, even in our darkest moments, when things look their worst, we're never alone. Never alone, for the spirit of love and grace reside within each one of us, always. And so it is. Any questions or comments? It's your turn this morning.
Good morning. That was wonderful, Reverend Jill. The thing about this cancer stuff, I was pondering about your theories of what bad things happen to good people. Cancer came to mind, and I lost a couple friends this week.
Sorry.
So, can you enlighten me on that? Because I couldn't find any of your 5 theories.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Cancer is an ugly dis-ease that has invaded our species for some reason. There's a lot of theories about that. A lot of it comes back to mind-body experience. And when we lose someone with that terrible disease and we've seen them suffer, it's heart-wrenching. It is agony. And that process is all of those things that we saw with the agony and the anger and the grief and eventually the release and the surrender, moving through that process. Going back to these things, it's probably more the problem of evil, believing that we've got to be in Earth school and learn this lesson through something was probably the closest one of those 5 in that. But we any sort of disease, whether it's cancer or a sore throat, is, it's like, why me? Why did I have to get sick? What's going on here? Did I call this on myself? And all of those things. And no, we don't believe that we ever actively call in something to our bodies to make us ill or diseased. But we do find that within those, there are many graces and there are many healings that happen. Even if the cancer itself is not healed, many other things are healed in that process. And it may be that which was necessary to cause these other healings to happen. Sorry for your loss. Anyone else? What, two over here? Thank you.
If God is everything, why do we have to forgive God?
That's in us. God doesn't care.
That's our self-pity, or
what
is it?
Well, forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness is about ourselves and who we are blaming for how we're feeling. Or someone did something to us and we're holding on to that, which means we're keeping our energy on that. So if we think God did something to us and we have unforgiveness, then we're holding that block to anything else in our life. So we've got something in the way of the livingness through us. Okay. So, maybe you need to forgive. I know you all have beloved dogs. Maybe your dog has an accident and you have to forgive them. So it's whatever the forgiveness is. It's not that God needs it. It's not that anybody else needs it. Usually, a lot of times when we are holding unforgiveness, the other party doesn't even know that. And I would say the same would be true of God in that case. God doesn't know we're not forgiving, but the forgiveness is for us. It's not for God.
Okay. So it's an earthly thing.
It's an earth thing. It's an earthling thing.
All right. And Valerie's question, we're dealing with cancer, and that is a pervasive and a nasty disease, obviously. And you said we shouldn't resist situations, and I assume that's from the metaphysical or the spiritual standpoint. But is cancer a transition between spiritual and physical, and we resist the physical part of it, or what?
I don't agree with that idea of resisting cancer. I don't agree with the idea of imagine little laser beams knocking out each and every one of your little cancer cells. I just don't. I don't follow that line of thinking about it, that we're doing a battle against cancer. Because I think anything we resist persists. I think anything we battle against, we're putting our energy to. My treatment for anyone going through a chemo is This is the power and presence of God as infinite intelligence, infusing your body, flowing through each and every cell of your body, and empowering it to do its perfect right work of healing you. We're not fighting anything. You're in a normal, natural state of health and healing, wholeness. It's just healing to be revealed, that's all. Did you have something? No? Okay. Anyone else? Diane.
I can remember as a little girl going to vacation Bible school and being told that not forgiving is like you're the person holding the anger and the unforgiveness, that it poisons the vessel that holds it, not the person that you pour it on. And that's been a universal thought for most religions, including Jesus and Christianity, that it's toxic to hold on to that unforgiveness.
Yeah. Yeah. So taking that one step more metaphysical, could his request of take this cup away from me be asking God to forgive, help him forgive, so that he would no longer be poisoned by his own unforgiveness? Wow. Anyone else? One more. All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you for being here today. And I would invite you to join me in a prayer this morning as we go within. How good it is that we have this time in community to be together in the one, in that infinite presence and power, that one life that is God, that which is whole, perfect, and complete, that which is infinite love, pressed down to overflowing in, through, and as all of its creation, that which loves so much it knows nothing outside of love. It knows nothing outside of itself. And itself is expressed in, through, and as all of its creation. And I am one with that which is created. I am a manifestation of this divine loving presence. And as such, those qualities are my qualities. I am that infinite love. I am that wisdom and intelligence. And as I know this of myself, I know that for each and every one of us gathered here today, whether in the room, online, or listening later, knowing that we are connected, not separate in any way. There is no time and space separation. We are one, always and all time, in all consciousness. And so from this place of oneness, I speak my word for and about each and every one of us, knowing that as we surrender it up, whatever it might be, and let it go, and simply forgive ourselves, each other, and all, that we set loose such love on our planet that the vision that we had earlier of no war, no competition, no fighting, no anger, no angst is realized. That we simply become the love we have come to be, whole, perfect, and complete in its manifestation in, through, and as each one of us. I know for anyone that has anything on their heart today, as they lift it into the consciousness of this prayer, that we as a community surround them, that desire, with our love, with our joy and our peace, knowing the full manifestation of it. Whatever needs to be healed is revealed. Whatever information needs to come is received easily. Whatever is necessary, we receive it now. And it is with a grateful heart filled with gratitude, thanksgiving, joy, peace, and love that I just simply release this prayer into the action of law, knowing that it's done. It's so. And we affirm this truth together by saying, and so it is.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Jill. That was wonderful. Now's the time where we celebrate grateful giving. where we enter into the spiritual practice of grateful giving, sharing of the abundance that is part of our experience of life. And we are so very, very grateful for all of that. And we share with our community so that we can share our message of affirmative spirituality with the community at large. Ernest Holmes says, the universe operates through dynamic exchange. Giving and receiving are different aspects of the flow of universal energy. In our willingness to give what we seek, we keep the abundance of the universe circulating in our lives. And so I would invite everybody online and here in the space to join us in this practice this morning. There are many ways to share. We have links on our website, including Zelle, which is a way one of the many ways to give and to share. When you do go into the website, there are opportunities to make your gift recurring, whether that's weekly, monthly, and so on. When you do that, when you come in, if you come into the space, you can pick up a tithe ticket to drop in the basket as it comes around so that you just can identify as one of those individuals that has that going on. We also have the Money Finders Prosperity Program where we focus on giving attention to that which expands the experience of abundance in our lives. So this is like you have something unplanned for, something serendipitous occurs that blesses you with prosperity. Somebody buys you lunch or buys you breakfast or buys you dinner, pays for your coffee in line. You get unexpected discount at a store. All kinds of things. I found $5 on the ground the other day in the parking lot. Yeah, I did. That was yours. Actually, I put the whole $5 in. So found $5 in the parking lot on the ground. I looked around. There was nobody around. I said, okay, thank you, and put it in my pocket and then gave it away. If you would like to give with a credit card, there are ways to do that online or in the lobby. If you're using cash or a check, you can put it in the envelope, put your information on here so we can send you a letter at the end of the year with what you have donated, what you have given. So I think I covered all of the things. Or you can mail. Yeah. Or drop it in the basket, and the basket will be coming around this morning. So take your gift, hold it over your heart if you're comfortable doing that, and join me in the affirmation. I am an open channel through which prosperity flows. I accept the divine flow of goodness, ideas, and substance through me now. I am grateful for my full and prosperous life, and so it is.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me,
Gratitude to the left of me,
gratitude to the right of me,
gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful. 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 I'm so grateful.
And we are so very, very grateful for the infinite and ever present and ever expanding blessings of abundance and health and wholeness and prosperity in our lives. We're grateful for the gifts that we have received here today, knowing that they continue to bless this community, this family, this center of spirit, which is each and every one of us and the Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living. It goes forth to bless, heal, and prosper the community that we serve, pressed down, shaken together, and running over in an ever-expanding cycle of abundance and good. And so we let it be, and so it is. Okay, just a few more reminders. If you'd like prayer today, please see myself or Reverend Jill after the service. You can also leave a written prayer request in the prayer box in the lobby, or use our website 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A reminder that Reverend Jill and I are available for spiritual coaching. If you would like to take your own spiritual process deeper, you can reach out to each of us individually. There you see the email address. Get in touch with us. Sign up for Easter Sunday Courtyard Potluck Anniversary Celebration on March 31st. Also out at the front desk, you can register for my April class or the Gourmet for God event. Next Sunday, we will be right here as we continue the March series, The Scope of Forgiveness, with my talk, Betrayed and Arrested. Jesus has been betrayed by Judas, arrested, and is now in the hands of the authorities. Facing, releasing, and forgiving feelings of betrayal can be deeply challenging. Next week, we'll explore his process and responses as lessons in forgiveness on the path to freedom. So, see y'all back here next week, here in the space or online. We're so thrilled you join us here week in and week out from all over the world, by the way, folks, just so y'all know. Great Britain, South Africa. We had somebody from South Africa online. Was it last week or the week before? Something like that, yeah. Pretty awesome stuff. So with that, stand, join us for our affirmation today and our closing song. Our affirmation: I live in peace and share my joy. I am empowered by spiritual truth. Today I surrender to what is and forgive what was. And so it is.
Let there be peace. I understand for peace. Let there be love. I understand for love. Let there be joy. I understand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I understand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love, let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. world now. We are